All right, brothers and sisters, we're back on WVON 1690. This is the Talk of Chicago, 773-591-1690, as we head into the final hour of Straight Words on this Tuesday night from 9 p.m. until midnight every Tuesday. You can catch us right here. Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad, editor-in-chief of the great Final Call newspaper, and, of course, his mentor and trainer taught him how to be a great editor. The contributing editor, Brother James G. Muhammad, is on the line. And, of course, I'm Brother BJ, and we are here to talk about what's going on in the world. And, Brother Naba'a, I'll let you go ahead and introduce our esteemed guest. This brother is a recurring guest on Straight Words. Doing a wonderful job.
We're going to get to our esteemed guest in a minute. But I think we got Pastor Victoria Brady, my pastor, and my sister lieutenant. Bring Sister Lieutenant Brady on in here.
Assalamu alaikum, love, peace, and blessings.
Love, peace, and blessings, Pastor Lieutenant
in the house.
All right, now, let's go.
Playwright. That great playwright. Is that who that is, Brother Naba'a?
Oh, yeah, she's playwright and many more. Come on, Sister Pastor.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I'm sitting here getting so full, and I know so much to talk about. I'll try to keep my comments brief.
I tell you what, you take your time, okay?
Okay.
You take your time.
Well, you know what I want to start out with is, I'd like to start out with, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's in the Holy Bible, the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse number 1. So I would dare to say that because of the way that God crafted us and knitted us in our mother's wombs, the way he knitted us together, the way he put us together, beautifully and wonderfully made in his sight, being the maker of us and not we ourselves, I would say that I understand the comment and the point of, and I really do understand what the brother, Dr. Ricky, is saying when he says hope addicted. I totally understand it. However, from a spiritual perspective, I would say that we are not addicted to hope. The way that God wired us up and the way he made us, we are a people of hope. We are forever connected to the divine one. And it supersedes
You still there?
Or any other. And I mean it in a positive way. We are divinely connected, forever connected to the ultimate sovereign one. And so I do believe that we are a people that have the strong ability to hold on to hope, probably more than any other people on this planet. But I would not say that it's empty, and I would not say that it's fruitless, because it's rooted in our spiritual DNA, the DNA that we had before we were kidnapped off of the continent of Africa and all of the things that we have experienced, that DNA. So with that being said, I agree with the comment that the election, I would say it this way, the result of the election is nothing less than God's holy will.
Go ahead now.
Nothing less. It is nothing less than God's holy will. We have to understand, all of us, that we are on God's timeline. And there's so much talk about Project 2025 and Agenda 2030, the United Nations agenda of 2030, and all of these different agendas, when, as you brothers have so rightly already said, that we can look at the sacred text, we can look at the holy book itself, the holy books itself, and we will know that God's timeline is unfolding. He told us these things would come to pass. That is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan and so many others, Yeshua, Jesus the Christ, whose name they changed to Jesus from even though there was no J in the original Hebrew text. So the thing is this, that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and all they that dwell in it. Even those that are not of him, everything is under his command. So I'm saying that I agree. As I wrap up my comments, I totally agree that this is our time. This is some bootstrapping time, y'all. It's time to do some showing up bootstrapping. And bootstrap is getting ourselves in or out of a situation with the current conditions that we have, the things that we already have in hand. We are already a nation within a nation, as has been so eloquently taught. We are a nation within a nation. You know, the thing with, I would say, with Black people, we have, I really don't even want to roll this off my tongue, but I would ask those that are listening and those that maybe will listen to this later, I'm going to ask the question, do we really believe God, Allah? Do we really believe what he said and what he said will come to pass? How is it, my brothers, how is it that we serve the Most High God in whatever identity that we see him in? We say he's sovereign. He's the absolute. There's no higher power. There's no greater authority. And yet we find ourselves in the conditions that we're in. You talk about logic, that ain't logical. That is not logical. How? No. I'm serious. How is it that we say we are the very children of the Most High, but we're living the most low? We serve the Most High, but we live in the most low. There's a gap, you all. There's a gap. So I'm going to say this as I wrap up my comments because I love what I'm hearing. I would say three things to help us. Because I'm a person that believes in solutions in terms of unity. And Brother Naba'a, you know how I feel about unity. Been working on it and trying to do my part to unite with my brothers for decades now. But three things. Number one, return to God. Return, and I say return because we already was his. So we need to go back. Return to God, that's number one. Number two, return to self. The knowledge of self, of who we really are. The knowledge of us individually and the knowledge of us collectively. And then number three, return to one another. When the disciples asked the Lord Jesus Christ, they said, the man in the scripture, Holy Scripture said, what is the greatest commandment? And Yeshua said, the greatest commandment is that to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength. And he said, and the second commandment is like unto it, love your neighbor as yourself. So when we talk about unity, those are the three elements, and we see those three elements. If you look at the prodigal son, and the prodigal son is probably covered in the Holy Quran as well. The story of the prodigal son is that very thing. The prodigal son goes back home to his father. When he wakes up in the pigsty and realizes he's living below his means, he returns to himself. He says, hey, my father got the riches of everything. And then he goes home to be restored to his family. So we talk about unity, we talk about hope, and all of those things. We have to take the action. It's not going to drop out the sky. It's not going to drop, and the Lord is not going to allow it to, because we have been, not only have we been asleep, we've been disobedient, we've been scared, we've been a whole lot of things. But the bottom line is that, as we would say, God's holy will be done. And I know I did say a lot, but this is a beautiful topic to think about and to know that we will rise and we will get better, and we will God's agenda, because that's the agenda that matters. We got the long-term strategic plan. I've mentioned it several times. It's a 100-year plan. If we talk about unity, let's unite around that. Look at that long-term strategic plan. that covers 100 years of what the next generation must do. Because we only have so much longer on the planet. What can the next generation do? What must be done over the next 100 years, if we even have that long? But that's not the point. The point is that we continue to do the work. Harriet Tubman did not concern herself with who would not go. She went with those that were willing, and they saw freedom. I love you all so much. God bless you, and thank you so much for what you're doing. It makes a difference. Believe me, it makes a difference.
Go ahead,
Sister Pastor Lieutenant, we're going to have you back with whoever you want to bring back with you. And let's talk about that 100-year plan. But thank you for calling in. You've added a lot to this conversation. And this is a sister, brother. She knows about some bootstrapping, and she knows about working and sacrificing for her people and suffering for them. And I'm not even going to get in that, because if I get into that story, I'm going all the way up the scales. But let's just say our sister who has served our children for decades has not been treated like she should. But that don't dissuade her. That don't stop her. She keep right on going. And I'm right with her.
That's right.
Thank you, Sister Pastor Victoria.
Love, peace, and blessings. I'll talk with you soon, and I'll be happy to come back. God bless you.
All right. Thank you. God bless you, too. I think we got another caller. Brother Brian, stand by. We coming to you in a minute.
Yes, sir. We got Joe. Joe, you on WVON. Go ahead and talk to us, big brother.
Well, I think we just need to have a paradigm shift because our people have been fed lies over so many generations, and both institutional and in the religious organizations. It's very hard for me to listen to some of the people on the radio, with all due respect, not because they're not good people, they are, but they're just so misinformed and misled about so many things. First thing is, this America with 3 Ks in it, it's never going to be a place that's going to ever love you or give credence or justice or freedom or equality to your people. Never. You have false hope in something, because the people you're trying to get this from, they're not designed to give it to you. That's not their purpose. Their people, that was not their purpose and intent. White people, this was not their intent for them to even do that for you. They are still your enemy. And until people realize that this place that we, so-called place that we're in, we are the booty of a conquered people. All right? And so they're not going to respect us until we have our own identity back, until we know who we are, until we form our own country, military, banking system that's not dependent on them, until we get our own scientists back again working for us and our behalf. We have to form our own nation within a nation. That's right. And that's right. So until you do that, you will not be respected. You're looking for a mystery spook God. You're looking for something spooky to come down and save you or fix you. You're looking for them to fix you. It's never going to happen. You are everything inside of you. You have everything inside of you to fix every problem that exists on this plane and worlds beyond it. But first, you have to have a paradigm shift. You have to know that the God that you worship outside of you is in you. Period. So you can call on the God inside of you to get anything you need to get done. Everything is possible, but you got to know who you are and know that every atom, every particle, every neutron, everything that created this universe is inside of you. You just got to unlock it and put it to use and work in the collective. There's a saying that said that the sum parts are not greater than the whole, and so individually we may be great, but as a whole, if we want to be respected and the people and put our place back on top as we were in the beginning, then we have to take off this Caucasian mindset, this race for capitalism and materialism and excess. Like that's going to balance the equation out. It doesn't balance. Mathematics, it does not balance. You cannot work your way, invest your way, purchase your way to fix this problem we have here in America and around the world.
Yes, sir,
It
Brother
can't
Joe.
be fixed that way. So we have to have a paradigm shift and really think about what does it look like to have a respected nation where your women are respected.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Very
All
good,
right,
Brother
Brother Joe. Thank you. Appreciate you. Call back again now. Let's bring, is it Dr. Rosita, Brother BJ?
Yes, sir. She's standing by. Go ahead, Sister Rosetta.
Yes, I've been enjoying the show. Dr. Ricky Jones is just phenomenal. I just really am so happy that you played that. I do want to speak to our people, and I want to go back to some of the problems that we have. And it's really simplistic. And I learned that I became a single parent, and I had 3 sons and a daughter to raise. And I think about the things that I had to do in order to get the result that I have. And I would get up every morning at 5:30. I would do my homework because I was in graduate school. I would take my children to school, drop them off, work all day, come home, fix their dinner, and go to my graduate class every night. And I did that for 3 years, and I finished 2 masters in 3 years. And the thing that I said today, I was like, how in the world did you do that? But I was in prayer all the time. I had a direct line to the Creator. And things would happen to me, just miraculous things out of nowhere, to get me through that very difficult time. The thing that really resonates with me is love. It is the most miraculous thing that we can do for each other. I know it sounds simplistic, but, at the end result, I have 3 wonderful sons. They're free. They're happy. They're flourishing. My daughter is finishing her doctorate. And I just said, people say, well, you're a single parent mother. How could you do all of that stuff and then get a good result? But it was all about my love for my children and my love for God. And when we have that, and I love my people, and when we have that kind of love that we share, it heals us. And I don't see that in our community. I see a divided group. I see the black elite. I see them not really kind of like hating on the black poor. I've worked in inner city schools by choice all my career. I believe in our children. I know what they can do. But we don't have the will to help them. And I believe God will not bless us if we don't go back to the basics and deal with our youth, have love for them no matter where they come from. If their parents got 99 heads, it shouldn't bother. It's our job to love them, to move them forward. And that's what we're lacking. We're lacking just something so basic. We're lacking love, God's love, our love for our people. And I'm just saying to everybody, if anyone deserves a chance, if anyone is black people, we need to be better to each other, and we're not doing that. And I don't believe God can bless us unless we go back and do what is required. It's just the basic principle. And when I do that, I have nothing but success. So I just want to share that with, and it's simple. Go the extra mile. Give the extra breaks. Do the things that, like other people won't do for us. You do it. We're not doing that. We're after each other. I know. I work for CPS. We're after each other like 40 going north. And it's the black elite. And it's not really about, because they have this conversation going about this election. Oh, it's the educated blacks over here and the non-educated black. That is not true. I'm an educated black person, and I'm with the grassroots. Right. So it does. I'm with the people. I'm not with the elites. So it doesn't mean because we're grassroots that we're uneducated. So I just want to start that conversation right now. But I do want to say to our people, love each other.
All right.
If you can't do anything else, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brother Brian Muhammad, let's bring you in, man.
Sir, my brothers.
Brother Brian.
Brother Brian, is that you? Speak up a little bit, man.
Oh, okay. Let me. Get
out of the bed, brother, and sit up.
No. We put him to sleep, Brother James.
No, sir. Not with the last three callers that you had on just now. Ain't no way we can be asleep. I hope not.
Brother Brian, this is your time. International news, global affairs. Go.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Man, I really want to continue in the vein that you all are on.
Okay, well, go ahead then.
Because when we look at the international scene, and I want to say specifically the African continent, because they are suffering the same thing that we are suffering in a way that has been a hindrance to them really doing for self in a very real way. I like to put it like this, that Africa don't just need freedom still in today's world, but Africa needs a complete freedom, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I think that's what's happening with us, and the sister that you had on, the sister that was she a pastor?
Sister Victoria, Pastor Victoria Brady.
Right. Now, and what she's saying is the truth, but there's a time for everything. And God, in his mercy, have given us voices, have given us leaders, teachers, but at a certain point, he has to answer the call of what he promised he will do if we don't heed the call.
Right.
So no matter who is in the White House, no matter who is in rulership anywhere around the world, but particularly here in America, we have a responsibility that does not end, a responsibility to ourselves. I was looking at the book of Hosea as Sister was talking, and that famous quote from Hosea that says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge."
Mm.
But now it continues, which is rarely quoted. The continuation says, "Because thou hast rejected knowledge." Right?
Yeah.
See, and so we don't want to say that the blame is solely on we the people, but we, this title that you had on hope, we're addicted to hope. Because we don't have a proper knowledge of ourselves and the responsibility to self. Do the Chinese people who come and do what they have to do to make a way, are they addicted to hope, or are they addicted to hope and progress, making stuff happen? See? And we can say that for a number of people, but we were destroyed. We were a destroyed people. So now we're trying to be on the come up, and it gets to the point where after all of this time, we can see that our open enemies will not fix what they broke. They will not fix it. And so there's a book that came out, I don't know, sometime in the mid-'80s or so long ago. But the title of it alone, I think the author was Richard Williams, the sociologist that focuses on the black family. And the simple title of the book was, They Broke It, But We Must Return It. You see? So until we get to a point where our people will begin to see that all that we feel is ours by right, by living in this country, you know, we have to work to provide this for ourselves. If Kamala Harris got in, we would be in the same condition to have this same conversation 3 years from now, 4 years from now. Mm-hmm. Mr. Trump is in, we're going to be having the same conversation because the responsibility now truly lies on us, and we have to go through the requisite healing, which I believe is found in the guidance of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and they've been giving us this medicine for so long and guiding us to what we must do in order to be successful. But we have to be mature enough as a people to take the responsibility. Until we do that, then we will always have this conversation, and that gap that the sister spoke about will continue. We can't wait. I think they said it's going to be another 100 years. There's a figure they gave in terms of closing this wealth gap.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, knowing that, does that have to be our reality and truth? Or can we take the bull by the horn, and fight the inertia that comes upon a dependent people who think that they are part of a society that they are really not a part of. We are not in. Look, even if we were entitled, right? The Caucasian is not going to fix the problem. They're not going to have a mea culpa. They're not going to have a mea culpa moment, where they recognize, I done you wrong, and I'm going to do right by you for what I've done. It ain't happening, people. They are disagreeable to live with in peace.
Right.
And if you keep trying to live in a house where you're not getting along, and the answer at this point is, I need to separate myself out of this, otherwise something really bad is going to happen, then you need to separate. See, but right. Getting our people to see that because we have been sold a bill of goods that we too are American. This is ours. And yes, it's ours, but how do you get it? How do you get it under the present circumstances? Sometimes you got to separate, and then you can work on the relationship in a separate state and see how the future holds in. But you got to go for yourself to live.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And BK, we got a call.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the caller, man.
All right, Ed, you're on with it. Brother Brian, Brother Naba'a, Brother James G, and Brother BJ on WVON Straight Words. Go ahead and talk to us.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight, my brother?
Great,
brother. Listen, I was listening to you all, and I just want to say I appreciate, you all, being open, like Art came on and letting
Speak up a little louder, brother. We losing you, okay? And
okay,
you can start from the beginning, okay? Just speak up a little louder.
Okay, how's that? Can you hear me now?
That's a little better, but if you can bring it up, I want to make sure we hear you. But anyway, you can go ahead and start.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I just say I appreciate you all, letting everybody be open with their comments and expressing their views when Art came on and being open to how he, what he expressed, about his views.
So I just want to say I appreciate you all, brothers, for that, because usually people get hostile and get bitter, but I haven't seen that tonight. So I just want to, appreciate you, brothers, for that.
Oh, brother, thank you so much. That's what we strive to be.
Yes, sir. That's the way. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But listen, what I wanted to ask you, was this: that according to our faith, is we forgetting that God said in the Holy Bible, He said that I am His first commandment. I am God. Thou shalt have no other God before me. My name is jealous. Okay? God said that we don't put no images, not ourselves, not our kids, not our families. He said that He said that thou shalt have no other God before me. Are we getting away from that? Are we putting everything else before Him, even ourselves, our families, everything, and putting them second,
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. The condition. What I'm saying, we go out there a lot of entertainment. We lifting up a lot of entertainment now, a lot of glamour, So could that be part of the problems too? Because He said that He visits those iniquities of those who hate Him, and repay Him to the face. So are we not putting God first in our lives instead of our families? Instead, He said that I have a testimony when my grandmother, when they prayed for me, and I was out there in the street, but God took care of me because of their prayers. I got in trouble with the police. The police didn't lock me up in one incident. I was caught up in the game. And the police want to send everybody home. They want to send me to jail because I was old enough to go home. But God intervened, and the police came out. The same policeman arrested me and said, hey, it's not fair to let everybody go home and he go to jail. Call his parents up and have him come home. I didn't even know what it was for. But I had people that were praying for me. It was putting God in the forefront. And I'm a witness that God will take care of our families when we put Him first.
Right.
All right, Brother Ed. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Call back.
Thank you, Brother Ed. Good.
Thank you. I want to say something real quick, and then, Brother Brown, we're going to come back to you. That, this thing of hope, it is intrinsic to us. We just have to have hope and faith, I would add, in the proper thing. Because the God came to save us.
Right.
As He came to restore a world. But raising us as the bottom rail to the top. And if you can raise up the so-called American Negro into power, everybody going to know that you God. Ain't going to be no question. So our continued effort to teach our people,
right,
to work with them, to get them to understand, because this separation is not just because we've been evilly and cruelly mistreated and murdered and lynched and raped and castrated and hung from trees and drowned in lakes and rivers and streams and sold like animals and worse. It's because God has decreed that we must separate. Go ahead, Brother Brian.
Yes, and I agree. And I think this is what we're faced with. You said it right, hope, but hope in the right saying, because there is no getting along with, again, our 400-year-old, near 500-year now enemy. It's just not going to happen. Now, to me, I believe, the Spirit of God is really moving in a way, and I see it in the sense that some of the things that are going on in terms of the response to our oppression or the response to the need for change among the people is happening. In Botswana, in the small country of Botswana in Africa, they just elected a new president. I think the president before him was in office for something like 48 years or something like that. And this new president just was inaugurated last week or a couple of weeks ago now. He made the determination that he, just like what happened in Niger and in Burkina Faso, he's putting the U.S. military out of his country. And now, it's a big controversy going on because now the people of Botswana now have to face the reality of what they perceive as lost income, because of the presence of the U.S. bases there and its effect on the economy and things of that nature. And so when we talk about a full and complete freedom, these are real questions that we have to now ask ourselves. Do we have the wherewithal within ourselves? We know it's in us. We know it's in us, but do we have the will to work and to really put our willpower to work where we didn't have to worry about certain things because of the circumstances? So they're looking at, well, what is the pro and cons of putting the U.S. out of Botswana? There's a number of things that they're doing, all to try to, again, make the resources there good for the people of Botswana rather than the few who make a lot of money. The predominant, the predominant trade there is in diamonds. They don't really have a lot of resources in Botswana, but diamonds is the big thing, And so there's things that it's doing, and I'm saying that these people in Botswana, in Niger, in Burkina Faso, these are examples of where I believe the Spirit of God himself is moving to show that, look, you can do this. And I will back you. You see, I will back you. But where we are cowards, we will never be backed. And Brother Naba'a, when you was reading or when you was talking to our brother Mark Moriel and the conference they just had there, I think it was in D.C. or wherever it was, how long? How long are you going to be in a beggar's position and put your hope in something that is clearly a dying situation? America is on its weakened legs.
Right.
You cannot see that. You cannot see that, that those who come into power, they have an invested interest in looking out for their own, and the wise among them don't see you as their own. They don't see us like that. Look, I don't want to talk too much about Mr. Trump and all of that, but we're not getting into all of that. Yeah. So, but the point is that you see that there is change that is going on, and there's this kind of separation that's going on where people are looking out for their own. And we have to continue to fight for our people to see that.
Yeah, the thing is, that's the and I think we have a caller, so I'll make it quick. What you're talking about is the problem with all of Africa. Africa is the richest continent on the planet, yet it's the poorest in terms of the people. The division between the elite and the people who are poor shows that the elite have bought into this white supremacist attitude because that's where their money is coming from, and they don't realize how the unity of the whole, they would have everything they want, including the money, if they would just seize the resources that they have and put it to work for their own people. And with regard to this thing about hope that we were just talking about, hope, but if you don't have any kind of work behind it, it goes for nothing. So what we're saying, what you're saying, or what I think is happening is we have hope, but we don't want to work for what we hope for. And if we have hope, we don't even know either. We don't know what we're hoping for, or we don't know how to get it. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has told us the unity is the number one issue, but we don't want to grasp that message from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I know we have a call, so I'll just end it on that and come back.
All right. Brother Rashid, thank you for holding on. You're on WVON Straight Words. Go ahead and talk to us, brother.
Greetings, you all, and distinguished guest panel, WVON audience.
Yes, sir.
Scriptures. There are 4 horsemen, I believe, described in the book of Revelations. It's the red horse, the black horse, and it's the white horse, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The white pale horse. Yes, sir.
Out of all of the horses, God said in the scriptures, behold, of a pale horse. For he that rideth him is deaf. And everywhere he go, hell follows.
That's right.
I hope I can take my time to discuss a few complex things, but they really not that complex. The original melanated people, we are the true descendants of the Aboriginal Indians over here in the northern western hemisphere. We are the original Hebrew Israelites, and we are also the original Cushites, Cometians, so-called Egyptians. We are all of these people that they have hidden our identity when we went to sleep for 400 years in the northern wilderness and bondage in the land that is not our own. Most people believe that the 15th transatlantic slave trade is the only Holocaust we ever had concerning the Caucasian. This is addressing the brother Dr. Ricky Jones' situation. I believe he should have rephrased it and said addicted to false hope, because we have not took a clear assessment and a reality check of our historical situation. Everybody been talking about America is collapsing and the European hate us and all of these things, which is correct, but y'all still not discussing why. And it is because, listen, people out here in this audience, it is because our genetic superiority and our melanin. All of these separate divisions we have, we are fools if we don't unite with our brothers and sisters over there in Africa. President Abraham Traoré over there in Botswana Faso, if I'm pronouncing that right, Mali and Nigeria, and all of Africa division. The vision is, I am not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm what you call a so-called pan-Africanist, but I like to rephrase it and say a pan-melanist, because you got melanated people all over the world, and indeed, as the topic y'all said earlier, all over the universe. Those so-called aliens are our ancestors. The wheels within wheels are real. I seen one before in 1987. I ain't going to get into it right now because I don't have time, but it was a true account. But anyway, those are our ancestors. Now, I want to put out the fact that we had at least 4 or 5 Holocausts, not just the transatlantic slave trade. One, in 70 A.D., when the white Romans destroyed the black Hebrew Israelites in 70 A.D., it's in the scriptures. 2, the 3 Punic Wars, when Hannibal, the black Carthaginian, fought the Romans and we failed. 3, in 3000 BC, when the white Aryans came over to what is known as India, Indus Kush. And during St. Patrick's Day, I seen a group of brothers and sisters talk about lack of knowledge of self in some leprechaun uniforms and attire. I said, wow, listen. I said, they don't understand the history of St. Patrick's, how St. Patrick's went over there and destroyed the Twa people, the Pygmy people, the real leprechauns over there in Ireland. And every time we get around Europeans, it only ends in one result historically. Either we lay up here and get control of the environment and the situation and bring peace to the land. That's what the black man, woman, and child do. Or they annihilate us and enslave us. Every time we fail to them, they enslaved us, man. That's the reality check we got to get to. And let me say this in closing. Man, the wrath of God is not on us because we are black. In the end, we win because God is the black man, our Father. The wrath of the Father is on us because we don't love one another. That's what the great sister, Dr. Rosita, was talking about. Dr. Rosetta. We practicing classism amongst each other and hate. And if you love one another, how could you let your children be in such a disastrous school system? Who went for 50 schools closing? Who was in the room when they said they wanted to tear down the projects with no replacement housing? What goofy who was in the room when they said we're going to spend $600 billion on foreigners and not your own people? You hear what I'm saying, brothers?
Come on, man. Go ahead, bro.
Man, this is the thing. The Donald Trump whole cabinet members is a bunch of pedophiles and criminals according to, what they've been accused of. Now, here's the hypocrisy. The same thing they're accusing Puff Daddy of, his whole cabinet member. Correct me, am I wrong? Taking women over to New York and all that, but they have a different response to when it comes to white folks. This is white supremacy. This is the science of white supremacy. As the great sister, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing said, and Neely Fuller said, if you don't understand white supremacy, everything that's going on in America will be baffling and cunning and confusing to you.
Yeah.
Including the mothership and the reality of God. John chapter 10, verse 34. Think that I not committing blasphemy when I tell you it is written in my law that you are gods. We are gods. And that's been the greatest secret for the last 2,000 years that they've been trying to hide. But as it says in the book of Matthew 14, all secrets shall be revealed and shall be made known. And the Caucasian, of course, there's a few good ones like Father Flagrant, Michael Moore, Joe Slovic. But the few good ones, this is the Holy Spirit come down on me. Historically, reality, the masters of them, man, have hatred for us. And I ask you one question, any call in, what reason have we did? What do they have for hating us? I'm going to tell y'all, our melon, they can't produce us. Every policy and law that they ever came up with has been as a result of controlling our melon. That's why they created the virus AIDS in 1978 on the Thursday in Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is a spinoff of the Hitler experimentation he was doing on the Jews with the bovine vaccine. They've been attacking us, man. What's wrong with y'all? And
man, brother Rashid, you dropping it, brother. You got to come back next week. We're almost at the top of the hour, end of the show, brother. But we appreciate that, brother Rashid. Please call in next week and continue that conversation.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Dropped it. So, Brother Brian, you want to go ahead and wrap up? Brother, got a couple more minutes.
Yes, sir. Well, no, it's we just have to keep on pushing, brother. In the end, the victory is destined for us. So, I mean, there's no doubt about that. We just have to keep struggling forward, and so that's basic what I want to close on. And again, thank you all for bringing me on this week again, and I look forward to the next time.
Thank you, Brother Brian.
Yes, sir. Brother Brian, tell everybody how they can read your fantastic writings and contact you.
Yes, sir. Well, we go to finalcall.com. All of my articles are there. You can contact me on Facebook. It's Brian.E.Muhammad, and at Global Peaks on the X platform.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Thank you so much, big brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Brian. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
You as well,
Hey,
sir.
Brian. Check your text, Brother Brian.
Oh, yes, sir.
So I guess are we false hope addicts out here in the black community? My brother said false hope addicts. I like that.
Well, we can be hopeful, but we got to go to work, brother. Got to go to work.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, brothers and sisters, we want y'all to go to our website, straightwords.com. You can check out some previous episodes of conversations just like you heard tonight. And if you want to continue the dialogue on this radio station on WVON, please support us. Please, whatever you could give to show your support, doesn't matter how big or how small the donation, whatever your heart is telling you tonight before you go to bed, go to straightwords.com. We got all the many ways digitally that you can contribute to our show to keep us running on the air. And you can also text right now. Brother Naba'a is standing by the text line right now. You can communicate with him all night if you like to. Keep him up all night.
No, not all night. But, no, I mean, you keep him up all night. If we the money coming. Right. 312-480-9775. 312-480-9775. You can contact that brother, and he will love to dialogue with you because, you know, we get so much out of being here with you every Tuesday night, brothers and sisters. We love it. We love you. And we're gonna get to, like my brother said, we're gonna win at the end, y'all. So we're not gonna beat God in what He wants, and that is unity, unity, unity. God is gonna force us to surrender, and we're gonna run into each other's arms, and we're gonna look at each other like, what took us so long to fall in love with each other? Good God Almighty! I can't wait to hold your arms, brothers and sisters. So listen, brothers, we got to get it together. Next week, we're going to be back here again. We want to thank our beautiful brother, Deontay, our producer in the city of Chicago, WVON Studios, and our wonderful sister in Charlotte, North Carolina, Sister Jeanette, doing a wonderful job putting the program together. And Brother Naba'a and Brother James G., any closing words you want to give to the people before we sign off?
Boycott the holiday.
Go ahead, Brother James.
No, hold on to your money. Don't go Christmas shopping.
Love, peace, and soul, y'all. Love, peace, and soul.
Peace, y'all. Peace, y'all. Love y'all.
Love you too, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
salam.
WVON traffic and weather now. The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
I'm Terry McCready.
And I'm Kevin Brown, and you're home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Scholars and advocates are trying to comprehend attacks from President-elect Trump on racial equity as he's promising to target DEI in schools using discrimination